Thanks for tuning in to the 6Three podcast. I'm your host, Joel, and my co-host, Ben. And we are on to the year 2002 for the MLB ReDrafts, where I take a pool of almost 70 players, I think, in this one. It's probably the largest pool I think we've had. And then build our dream team / lineup and face off in an elimination game. So last week, I picked Joe Mauer first, and then you picked Ichiro as a follow-up. So you get first pick for 2002, and who would that be for you?
Joel Zamaya. No, I'm kidding.
Yes!
I will go Joey Votto.
Yeah.
Still playing, which is cool, and still raking. Although this year he's been down. He's been hurt a lot this year, but 64.3 WAR. 2,093 hits, 297 hitter, 342 homers, won an MVP, won a Gold Glove, 6-time All-Star. Durable guy. He's played 162 games multiple times, 158 a couple times, 161 one time. So he's always out there. Led the league in doubles one year, and he's played it all with Cincinnati. So he's their guy. Can still definitely hit. So it's an impressive career. Been on some really bad teams, too. He's led the league in walks 5 times as well.
That's a good one. That was my first pick. All right, I will go with I'll go with Carlos Gonzalez here. 285 career hitter, 234 homers, 785 RBIs, 122 stolen bases, almost 1,450 hits, 3 All-Star games, 3 Gold Gloves, 2 Silver Sluggers, a batting title, and a 24.5 WAR.
Okay. This one. Guess I'll go with Hideki Matsui here. 21.2 WAR. 1,253 hits, 175 homers, hit 282. Came into the league late. He was 29. He had a good career in Japan as well. Led the first 3 years in the MLB. He played 163 games, 162 games, and 162 games. So he was a very durable guy early in his career. 2-time All-Star, first 2 years when he was in the league. Had some power. Drove in runs, though. I mean, just an RBI guy. And a decent outfielder. So
good one. You and I are very similar as we like to try to rack up the position players first. Curtis Granderson will be the next pick here. Play center field. Played from 2004 to 2019. 249 career hitter. So batting average wasn't always there, but he found his pop when he moved over to the Yankees, which was kind of right when they conveniently started expanding that, shortening that field corners. So 344 homers, just shy of 1,000 RBIs, 153 stolen bases, 1,800 hits, 3 All-Star games, a Silver Slugger, and a 47.2 WAR.
All right. I'm going to take my DH right now. I'm going to take Prince Fielder.
Yeah, I was wondering what you were going to do with that. I was like, maybe I had some time to buy it with it. So I was like, oh, you got his first baseman. Maybe he's fine.
Right, and it's
good move. Good move. I was trying to
about it, but like now you're going to be down to like a average. Well, your first basemen are going to be lesser now. 23.8 WAR, 319 homers, 283 batting average, over 1,600 hits. 2-time home run derby champion. Not that that really means anything, but 6-time All-Star, 3-time Silver Slugger. Had some really good years in Milwaukee. Had 2 really, really good years in Detroit. Played 162 games both those years in Detroit, by the way. I don't really remember that being a thing, but that's cool. Hit 50 home runs one year in 2007. Drove 141 runs in 2009. Led the league in walks in 2010. So, yeah, overall really good player.
Yeah, nice move. I was getting greedy on that. I was like, I got some time now that he got his first baseman.
He sort of did, but yeah. I mean, I didn't really think about it, and then I was scrolling up, and I'm like, I'm just going to take the best player left.
Yeah, I mean, he's for sure was. He was actually going to be my next pick. So
Yeah.
you did. I was like, I wonder how much time I had to get him. So,
If I
all
hadn't
right, I'll take my
scrolled a
catcher
little
here.
more, I probably would have not taken him because there were a couple other options. So
I'll take my catcher here. I'll take Brian McCann.
okay.
2005, 2019, he played 262 hitter, 282 homers, 1,018 RBIs, 25 stolen bases, almost 1,600 hits, 7 All-Star games, 6 Silver Sluggers. He was an All-Star MVP even, and a 32 WAR.
All right. I'll take Howie Kendrick here. 35 WAR, one-time All-Star, 127 homers, 294 batting average. Won a World Series in 2019, NLCS MVP. Yeah, overall really solid player. Didn't hit for a ton of pop, but had a little bit of power. Was just an overall really good outfielder. Had some speed. Stole 126 bases. Didn't really strike out all that much. Good average hitter. Just overall really good player for 15 seasons. Most of it with the Angels. I'm going to put him for now. So I have my first baseman. I have an outfielder.
Second base initially, but I don't know what you're in.
Probably second base for now, but we'll see what happens.
Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay. I'm going to take second baseman here. I'm going to take Asdrubal Cabrera. 266 hitter, 195 homers, 869 RBIs, 91 stolen bases, almost 1,800 hits, 2 All-Star games, a Silver Slugger, and just a shy of a 30 WAR.
Okay. Good player, still playing, sort of.
And yeah, he's technically, I think he's a free agent now, but
yeah. Okay, let's see. Check one thing here. I'll take Felix Hernandez.
King Felix, all right.
Yeah. 49.7 WAR, 169 and 136, a 3.42 ERA. He won the ERA title twice, 6-time All-Star, won a Cy Young. Really one of the more dominating right-handed pitchers for a 10-year period, at least in our lifetimes. Had 19 wins in 2009. Had a 2.27 ERA in 2010, a 2.14 in 2014. Pretty nuts. Had a 2.49 in 2009. He had a 2.27 ERA in 2010. Did not make the All-Star team, which is just
kind of robbed. Yeah,
makes no sense. He won the Cy Young and didn't make the All-Star team that year. Now, he was only 13 and 12, but he was on a very bad Mariners team. So, yeah, Cy Young and not making the All-Star team is kind of nuts. But
I think I mean, if I ever look at a list of the pitchers that have over 2,500 strikeouts, like that typically to me is like the stamp of a good pitcher for a long time.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you got to be around for a long time too to do that. Yeah, it was a big. I mean, wasn't a huge strikeout guy, but was it really good? I mean, what over 200 from 2009 until
he stayed under a 3.5 ERA. That's pretty good.
His ERA was crazy. He didn't walk guys. Yeah, just overall really, really good. Threw a perfect game too, which is always impressive because that's not happened very often. So, yeah, really good player. Pitched till he was 33, probably. I mean, he had some arm injuries late in his career, so if he had stayed healthy, probably could have kept going for a little bit longer. Probably not a Hall of Famer, unfortunately, just because he didn't play quite long enough, I'd say. But has a case just because that ERA. He was one of the better pitchers for 7 to 8 years in his career in the entire league. Maybe the best right-hander for about 5 years there.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. I would say almost 7 to 8 years. He was probably considered a top 5 pitcher in the league for that entire window. So
yeah, you didn't want to face him. Say that.
Yeah.
You didn't want to face him.
Well, I'm going to still stay away from pitchers for a while. This is a pretty good class, so I don't think I'm going to be too disappointed regardless. So I'm going to go with I'll go with the Panda, Pablo Sandoval. And I think for now I'm at third base. Obviously, play the other corner at first, but third for now. 278 hitter, 153 homers, 639 RBIs, only 12 stolen bases because obviously he was a big man. 1,300 hits, 2 All-Star games, World Series MVP, and a 19 WAR. And I'm pretty sure he's active, but in a China league.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a panda over where pandas live.
Yes.
The big panda. I'll take BJ Upton, known as Melvin Upton Jr. from 2015 to 2019. The player formerly known as Mouse Cop. 16.8 WAR, 243 batting average, 164 homers, over 1,200 hits. Really athletic outfielder. Stole 300 bases as well. Racked up the stolen bases, especially early in his career, but even late, he was up there in the upper 20s for stolen bases. Really, when he came up, I think with the Rays, I mean, his first year he was 19 years old in 2004 when he first played. Only played 45 games that year, but then they sent him back down, and then he came back up in 2006, and then kind of stuck around for a while. But he was considered one of the better prospects in baseball, just because he had it all, 5-tool player. Obviously, brother Justin played as well.
Justin was probably better too if you look at it, but
Justin was an overall better, probably at least a better hitter. BJ might have been a defender, but
he was a good. BJ was a good fielder. So
so overall, pretty solid player, athletic. We'll put him in center.
Yeah, that's where I put him. Yeah. Give me Zach Greinke here.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. So 223 career wins, and probably counting. I think he only has 4 this year.
He's on a bad team.
Yeah, that doesn't help. He has 4-9, I think, this year so far. So 3.44 ERA.
He's probably
just another really good pitcher like King Felix. That was a sub 3.5, and he has 2,900 strikeouts just about now. So when you face over 13,000 batters in your career, it's a good thing. Cy Young winner, 6-time All-Star, 6 Gold Gloves on top of that. Also a 2-time Silver Slugger when he was over in the NL, and ERA title as well twice. So yeah, he's just about 39 years old, and still at a 4 ERA this year. So he isn't totally. He's not Justin Verlander by any means, but just a really reliable pitcher still. So
yep.
With social anxiety disorder, really bad.
Yeah, he's kind of weird. That's all right.
Yep.
All right, I'll go with Nick Swisher. Put him in right.
Next position player. Yep.
21.5 WAR, over 1,300 hits, 245 homers. Switch hitter at 249. Never really liked the guy. I thought he was kind of a tool, but that's fine. Had some pop in the bat, 35 homers in 2006. Usually upper 20s in the home runs. Could drive in runs. Did have some higher strikeout numbers, but walked a lot. And could play first base as well. And was a decent outfielder for a corner guy. So overall, pretty decent career in 12 years.
And probably batting lineup wise with the Yankees, probably one of the best lineups of all time, and he still bats somewhere around that 5 to 7 spot. And it was probably the greatest lineup of all time.
In short porch and against righties, he really fit. I don't know how many home runs did he have the All-Star year. 29. So he was an All-Star in 2010. So with the Yankees.
All right. And it looks like you'll put him at right field.
Yep. We'll put Hideki in left.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got the other Yankee player in there, Hideki.
Yeah.
Okay. That was my next best position player. I'll go back-to-back pitchers. I'll take Cole Hamels.
Okay.
Here next. Let's pull up his numbers real quick here. Yeah, played from 2006 to 2020. 422 started games, 163 wins, 3.43 ERA, and just about 2,600 strikeouts, 4 All-Star games. He was a World Series MVP, and a 59 WAR.
All right. Just curious about this. I might take him later. Some guys that just got hurt a little bit too quick.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is for even now at hitting. Like it's not the most stacked class, but unfortunately, 2003 next year's is even going to be a tougher one to pick because that class does not look good. I'll read off a few of those names later, but
all right, I'll take John Lester then. 43.4 WAR, 200 wins, 117 losses, 3.66 ERA, 5-time All-Star, won 3 World Series, was the NLCS MVP, cancer survivor. Pitched until last year, won 18 games in 2018 at the age of 34 with the Cubs. Yeah, overall really, really good. I mean, just a really good pitcher, left-hander, one of the better lefties in the league for a pretty good stretch. I remember when he came up with Boston, they thought he was really good. Won 19 games in 2010, won 19 in 2016, 18 in 2018. So yeah, racked up the wins. One of the better winning percentages you'll see, at least modern day.
yeah, it's hard to almost have a 2-to-1.
Yeah,
that's really good.
He's around some good teams, and he was on some really good Boston teams and some good
Cubs teams were pretty good that year.
Yeah, exactly. But he was really good. He was tough. Just a tough guy to beat.
Yeah, when you beat cancer, you're also going to be tough just on the field,
Yeah.
I guess, too. Right?
Yep. So tough guy, good, really, really, really good pitcher.
Like I said, the positions are kind of getting a little weaker. So I'm going to still keep piling on this top-heavy pitching group, but I'm going to take Matt Cain here.
Perfect game.
Yeah, he was a good pitcher. 2005, 2017, had 104 wins and 331 starts. A 3.68 ERA though, so again, under 3.7. I like that. 1,700 strikeouts, 3 All-Star games, and over 29 WAR.
All right, I'll take a catcher here. I'll take Russell Martin. Let's pull his stats up. Considered a very good catcher.
I went back and forth on him and McCann, and I think McCann obviously has more All-Star games, but Russell Martin was a top catcher for 3 or 4 years too in the league. So
38.9 WAR, over 1,400 hits, 191 homers, 248 batting average, 4-time All-Star, won a Gold Glove, Silver Slugger. Yeah, some really good years in there, especially with the Dodgers. 2015 was his last All-Star year. That was with Toronto, and he was really good that year too. Overall, a really good catcher, and did a good chunk on offense too. That kind of puts him more into a little bit more of an elite status. Didn't really strike out for a catcher, which is good. So overall, really good player.
I'm going to take a lefty who was also primarily a starter here, but I'm going to take Scott Kazmir.
Kazmir, yeah.
2004 to 2021, 301 started games, 108 wins, a 4 ERA, 1,618 strikeouts, 3 All-Star games, and a 22.5 WAR.
Okay.
Just needed a lefty.
Yeah, I already got mine.
Wait, Cole Hamels is a lefty too, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Okay, well, really good now.
There you go. Phil Koch. No, he's not getting drafted.
Well, I like that.
Nope. I need a shortstop. I guess I'll take Eric Ibar. I need a shortstop. Don't love Eric Ibar, but he's been around.
I think he's probably the better shortstop.
Oh. Yeah, 22.8 WAR, over 1,400 hits, 58 homers, so not a whole lot of pop. 271 batting average. Played till 2017, so played 12 years. Stole 155 bases, so some speed there. Didn't strike out really at all. Overall, really solid average guy. Played a good shortstop. Played 10 years with the Angels. One with the Padres, one in Atlanta, and one in Detroit. One-time All-Star too, and it was 2014. So
Just having a tough time with this one. If you're GM in this, I don't know who you take at center field. Curtis Granderson or Carlos Gomez is my next pick here. Oh man, 252 hitter Carlos Gomez was, 145 homers, 546 RBIs, 270 stolen bases, 1,200 hits, 2 All-Star games. He had a Gold Glove and a 24.5 WAR.
Probably center field.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Better
but
arm
he was Gomez
field.
was like the fastest player in the league for a couple of years. So
the better arm is playing center field for me. I'll tell you that right now.
And yeah, that's
Gomez has a very mediocre arm.
Yeah, but he was good off the bat. Like right off the bat, the way he read the ball was
good. Yep. So I'm putting him in left still.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Then you get Carlos Gonzalez in right field, and then it's a good outfield.
That is a good outfield. Let's see here. Need some backups now.
You still could get a third baseman. That's the one starting spot that you have.
Well, could, but yeah. All right, I'll take Martin.
Okay.
Only a 2.6 WAR. He's had some good years with Kansas City, but only played for 7 years. Hit 264, just under 800 hits, 67 homers. Yeah, overall pretty good player. He got hurt, I remember, after like 08 or 09. It was after 09. Played with the Sox a little bit in 2010, but overall nothing crazy. Left-handed stick though, and does have some positional flexibility because he can play in the outfield and at first base. So we'll take Martin there.
That's a good one. Let's see what I got here next. Side by side those numbers a second here. Yeah, I think I gotta go with him. I think he's a better hitter. Yeah, I'm gonna go with James Loney to play first base for me. Yeah, so played for 11 years, 2006, 2016, 284 hitter, 108 homers, 669 RBIs, just under 40 stolen bases, over 1,400 hits, and an 11.5 WAR.
Okay. All right, give me Jose Contreras.
Oh yeah, I saved him just for you.
Pitched in 299 games. He started 175 of them. Another guy that kind of came over from Cuba, so who knows how old he was. But apparently he was 41 when he retired. One-time All-Star in 06. He actually had probably a better year in 05. But he had a really good first half in 06 with the White Sox. Won a World Series in 05. 78 and 67. ERA like 4.5. Had a really good forkball. It was really good for about that.
Not a lot of pitchers threw the forkball either.
No, but he had a disgusting forkball and was really good from 04 to probably 07, 8-ish. So we will take Jose.
All right, I am going to take. He was actually a pretty good fielder, but I'm going to put him at DH. Jeff Francoeur.
Yeah, great outfield.
Yeah, had 2 Gold Gloves in his career. 2005, 2016, 261 hitter, 160 homers, 700 RBIs, 55 stolen bases, just under 1,400 hits, and a 7 WAR.
Okay.
I might mess around. I don't know. Carlos Gonzalez is a pretty good. Yeah, he was an okay fielder, but so I could switch that around and have Carlos just play DH.
Yeah.
But
I'll take Denard Span.
all right.
27.9 WAR. Just under 1,500 hits, 71 homers, hit 281. No pop in his bat, but that's all right. Was a good defender, really good defender. Left-handed stick. Led the league in triples twice. Had a bunch of speed. Stole 185 bags. And so he averaged about 22 a year. Didn't strike out a lot. Solid average guy. Got on base. Overall, good player. Had some good years with Minnesota. Had some good years with the Nationals. So yeah, right now I'll put him. Right now I'll have him as a backup outfielder, but
That's where I have him listed too. Yeah,
certainly play. He just doesn't have the pop as the other guys.
Yeah, I mean he led off for the Twins for several years. So.
Yep.
I remember when we had to play. Denard Span was the hero for the Twins and Tigers' 163rd playoff game to get in and beat us in 11 innings.
Denard Span, man, he was a good player.
Yeah, he was great contact there, and a lot of speed, and a great outfielder. So, yeah, he was. I ranked him as the 15th best position player in this one, and he's past 15 for sure by now.
Yeah, it's just got to a point where I think both of us were on backup. We had other needs.
Yeah, I still need a shortstop though, so I just got to figure. That's my one starting position still left. I may move as Drupal Cabrera there yet, but
that's what I would do.
Or, yeah, but I don't know if I like the second baseman, the next second baseman the best. You know what? No, hang on. Let me pull those numbers up. Sorry, I don't think I wrote his stats down, so I just got to double check them. And he didn't have a whole lot either. Dogs. Rough. Yeah, we're definitely scraping the bottom here now. Let me pull up. Yeah, I mean, this guy had the next most hits, and he was a reasonable fielder. I think he's the only white guy I know named Khalil. So, but I'm going to go with Khalil Green.
Yeah.
Played for a while for the Padres, 2003 2010, 245 hitter, 90 homers, 352 RBIs, 25 stolen bases, 630 hits, and an 8.5 WAR. He will.
That's some pop. He had 27 homers in 07.
Yeah, he had like 2 good years, but then almost nothing after that. But
because he's a white guy named Khalil.
Yeah, that's not right. That's cultural appropriation.
That's just weird. All right. I don't know. Need a backup infielder, and the infielders in this draft were not great beyond the first baseman. I guess I'll just go with Chris Getz. I'll go with Getz.
Yeah, I mean, now you get the power of Chris Getz and Denard Span, and you're going to be cranking them over the wall.
Right. Getz hit 3 home runs in his 7-year career. Good defender, though. He's a good defender at second base. And he's a Michigan guy, so he's born in Southfield, so that's cool. Yep. Played at Michigan, too, which is cool. And now he's the director of player development for the White Sox, so he can direct player development for me.
That'll be huge for you in this 1-game playoff.
Yeah. I really need the players.
You're gonna fill the minors with that guy.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I will go with Brandon Moss. Tentatively as my reserve outfielder. He could play first base as well. But I'm gonna have him as reserve outfielder for now. he hit. Let me pull those numbers up here. I had them typed out. Oh, there he is. 2007 to 2017, he played 237 hitter, 160 homers. It's just under 500 RBIs, 11 stolen bases, 750 hits. He had an all-star game and a 5 WAR.
Okay. Give me Jonathan Broxton.
Great reliever.
Yeah, when he was healthy. Had two really, really good years. 43 and 38, 3.41 ERA, two-time All-Star, 8.7 WAR, 118 saves. So I'm probably going to put him as my closer. I had a couple years. Let's see where he was. He had 36 saves in 09, 22 in 2010. Those are his two All-Star seasons. 27 in 2012. Yeah, but otherwise he was a good reliever. Otherwise as well, had some really good seasons. In 2012, he had a 2.82 ERA. I'm sorry, 2.48 ERA. 2014 with Cincinnati, he had a 1.86. Then he went to Milwaukee and had a 4.35. But so he had a really good beginning of the season before he got traded. But overall, really good pitcher. Threw hard. So when healthy, he was good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I feel like it's disservice to leave some of these guys out, so I'm going to go with our starter here, probably to play some bullpen for me. But 25 days younger than Zach Greinke. We go with Charlie Morton. He's still pitching.
He is.
And he's 8-6 this year. He's 8-6 this year with about a 4 ERA, so it's not terrible.
He's been in and out of the bullpen too, so it makes sense that you could put him in the pen.
And he's 13 strikeouts shy of 200 this year at age 38, almost 39. So it's a good year from Charlie Morton. In his career, 115 wins, a 4 ERA, pretty much on the dot in 319 started games. And 1,700 career strikeouts. So, another good arm. I just felt like, we can go by bullpen or we can just go by best pitchers here. And it'd be a disservice to leave Charlie Morton off this roster.
Yep. I'm going to go with Jesse Crane here. 11.4 WAR, 45 and 30. Pretty good. 3.05 ERA, which is good. It's Canadian, not as good. Was an all-star.
That was such a good float. Canadian, not as good. That was real subtle. I loved it.
Yeah. Was an all-star his last season in 2013 with the White Sox. Then he ended up, I think he either blew his arm out or just, I don't know. I can't remember what happened, but he had a 0.74 ERA that season. That was only in 38 games, mind you. He was really good. The year before, he had a 2.44. The year before that, he had 2.62. So he was really, really good. And then in 2005, out of the bullpen, he was 12-5 for Minnesota.
That's a lot of wins for a bullpen.
Very
guy.
Incredible that he factored into that many decisions.
It's like Gregory Soto losing 11 games for the Tigers out of the bullpen.
In 75 games that year, which is impressive. Almost 80 innings. He's a guy that always pitched a lot of innings early in his career, especially even out of the bullpen. So overall, really, really good career. Just short. Only played 10 years. One of the better relievers when he was around, though.
Mm-hmm. All right, I will go with a guy that had 140 bullpen and career appearances, but 218 starts, and that's Rich Hill, because I want a guy that can throw a 78-mile-an-hour fastball.
Dick Mountain.
Yep.
Rich Hill, another Michigan
Why have
guy.
I never heard that? I've never heard that. It's funny.
Dick Mountain. It's a great nickname.
Yeah, he's been in the league since 2005, and he is, I think, the oldest guy now in the league. He's 42 and a half.
Yep.
So 346 games pitched, 270 started, 81 wins, a 3.85 ERA, just shy of 1,300 strikeouts and a 16.5 WAR.
Yep, another Michigan guy. Went to Michigan as well. How many more we got?
Looks like you need a reserve catcher, and you can have another reserve hitter if you want. And then 2 more pitchers, so 4 more players.
Give me Pedro Strop.
All right.
8.8 WAR, 29 and 30, 3.2 ERA on the dot. He's pitched for a lot of different teams, mostly with the Cubs, also Texas and Baltimore and Cincinnati. Really struggled early in his career, but then really kind of found it out of the bullpen. Yeah, I mean, you keep getting ERA below 3.5. That's pretty good. Never was good in save situations. He did have 13 saves in 2018 and 10 in 2019, but I remember every time you saw him come in for a save, you were like, all right, well, we're okay.
He
here.
threw hard, so you expect
Very hard, but he just struggled with some control issues at times. But yeah, overall had really good stuff. He was good.
There's not a lot of reserve infielders left, I'm noticing.
No.
In fact, I think there might be like one. So I may have to go with him. Just double check.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to go with him, yeah. I don't see anyone else. I'm gonna take Travis Ishikawa, who played first base primarily, and a pinch he could play third. 255 hitter, 23 homers, 140 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 245 hits, and just over a 1 WAR. Played for like 4 years, and all of it was just backup bench guy.
All right, I will go with Alexio Gando.
That's another really good arm.
Who,
Remember him with the Rangers?
Yeah, who look at his baseball reference page. It lists him as also a right fielder and a left fielder.
Really?
Because I think
show him just as a pitcher on this one, but
they have his foreign league stuff.
Okay, well, he also in big leagues he actually hit 500. He was 3 for 6.
All right, so you could hit.
Look at that! You got a guy that hits 500 in there.
There you go. 9.3 WAR, 33 and 19, 3.5 ERA. Had a big arm, threw very hard. Big guy too. He's 6'4".
Yeah, I was just say 6'4", 200. Yeah.
They tried to make him a starter too for a while, and it worked. I mean, he wasn't bad, but I think he was just kind of a really good athlete on the mound, but just couldn't quite put it all together. Which is why he didn't stick very long. But overall, a really good pitcher, really good arm.
Okay, I will take Joel Zumaya here. Only like 5 years in the league, and then busted his
Guitar Hero.
Yeah, Guitar Hero. Yeah, great story. 171 games pitched. He was 13-12, 5 saves. He had a 3 ERA though, so he was a great pitcher. Just obviously decided Guitar Hero was more fun. 210 strikeouts and a 4.5 WAR. I remember 1 year out of the bullpen, he had almost 100 strikeouts. I think, if not, did he get 100 strikeouts? He was awfully close.
He had 97 that first year in 06.
Yeah, I remember he was
That was
electric.
his best year, because that was the year he threw 83 innings. He never got above 30.
Every fastball he threw was over 100.
Yeah, he never got above 38 and a third innings after that first season because he just was always hurt.
Yeah, with the Twins and Tigers. Yeah,
quite unfortunate.
Because
he was young too. He just was a little dumb, but that's all right.
And full of So here you still need a reserve catcher. You can either use your other position as another pitcher or another position player.
I'll do George Cotteris. 2.9 WAR, 215 batting average, 32 homers. Stuck around for 7 years with a bunch of different teams. Bounced around. 3 years with Milwaukee, 2 years with Boston, year with Kansas City, year with Cleveland, year with St. Louis, year with Toronto, year with Oakland. Split some time, different seasons. He was with 3 teams, and he was with 4 different teams in 2014. which is crazy. Never really broke out. Had a couple okay years as a reserve catcher early, but never really broke out. But I mean, hey, played in the league, played in the MLB for 7 years, so that's something.
It's a good and I'll take my reserve catcher here. Take Chris Snyder. And yeah, out of his 10 years in the league, 4 of them, he was the primary catcher for the Diamondbacks. And then he got traded in 2010. So yeah, let's see. He had 470 hits in his career, 77 homers, 300 RBIs, and he had a batting average of 224.
All right. I'll take Chris Denorfia here. 10.8 WAR, 41 homers, 272 batting average, just under 600 hits. Mostly a reserve outfielder for the most part. Had 3 or 4 years there with the Padres in his early 30s, where he, was more of a starter. Never really had a crazy good year. Never really had a whole lot of pop. Just an overall pretty decent outfielder. Could hit for average, get on base. Just didn't really stand out, which is why he was a reserve guy.
I can dig it. All right, then I will take for my last player here. I will take a speedster, Niger Morgan.
Good run.
He definitely had some speed. Played 8 years in the league, 282 hitter, so he was a pretty decent contact hitter as well. Not a lot of pop, only 12 homers, 140 RBIs, 120 stolen bases, 550 hits, and a 7 WAR.
Yep.
So
42 stolen bases 1 year though.
Yeah, he was a speedster.
120. He averaged 33 stolen bases a year, so pretty good.
So some of the best players I have left available would be Taguchi.
Yeah, mostly pitchers, I would say. There's some.
Yeah. Best position player would be probably Taguchi in my opinion here, and then Jeff Baker is considered, Ben Francisco, Jeremy Hermida, Ryan Spilborghs, and John Mayberry Jr. And then pitcher wise, there's still guys like Josh Johnson that were available. Pat Neshek is a really good pitcher. Jeremy Guthrie, Craig Breslow, Matt Capps, Joe Blanton, Matt Lindstrom, Carlos Villanueva, Joe Saunders, Brandon McCarthy, Phil Koch, Jesse Chavez, who is still playing.
Told you Phil Koch wasn't getting taken.
No, he was probably coming up soon. Jesse Chavez is still active. Yep. Franklin Morales is in there. Jeff Francis, John Maine, Jason Hammel, Kevin Correia, James McDonald, Scott Olsen, Pride of Kalamazoo, Randy Wells, Jared Burton, Clay Hensley, Kameron Loe, Boone Logan, and Tom Wilhemsen.
Phil Koch had an ERA over 4 and a 2 WAR.
Yeah, I was looking at most of these pitchers. There's probably a couple I would still dig in on, but for the most part, most of these guys.
Phil Koch was mostly butt. He had
like 1 or 2 good years.
Good year in 2010 with Detroit,
mm-hmm.
and every other year with Detroit. And 2014, he was pretty good. But then he was horrendous at the end of his career.
He didn't know when to quit. That's for sure.
Yeah. So